What's up everybody, Watt the Below 7 here and welcome back to another Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links video. Today, I'm going to be showcasing to you guys how to unlock Agami in today's video, and then after we unlock him, I'm going to go take a look at all of his level up reward cards and give you guys my thoughts and opinions on them. Ignore the fact that we're in Yu-Gi-Oh! 5D's world and we're playing as Yusei, even though it's a DSOD event, but at the same time, it kind of doesn't matter, and I'll explain why in today's video. But yeah, let's get into today's video on unlocking Agami. Now, if you open up the event details right here, this event is going to last until September 7th of 2020. If you're watching this video after September 7th, you won't be able to unlock Agami, but at some point down the road, Konami will add Agami as an unlockable character through the gate, because they do that with all the characters that had exclusive events. They'll eventually make them permanently unlockable, but right now, you only can unlock him through this event. If we go to the recommended reward section, the game tells us that we need to collect 3,000 points and defeat Seto Kaiba from Dark Side Dimensions, and that's how we're going to be unlocking Agami. Now, in order to get 3 million event points from this event, you're going to need to utilize a deck to easily accumulate that many points. And big shout out to my friend AIGAMI'S for an amazing tutorial on how to unlock Agami. This deck list right here is the deck list that I got from his videos, so be sure to go subscribe to my boy because he makes some awesome content. But anyways, this deck right here is super good, and what's awesome about this is that you can utilize this deck to auto duel the event if you want to, which is going to make this a breeze to get to 3 million event points. And yeah, basically all you're going to need right here is this Blue Eyes White Dragon, Dark Magician, some copies of Dragon Spear of the White. You got to rock Dark Magical Circle, Dark Magic Current, Eye of Timaeus, the Fang of Critias, Tyrant Wing, 3 copies of Dark Cavalry, and 3 copies of Tyrant Burst Dragon. And then you're also going to want to rock Heavy Starter so that you can open up into your Blue Eyes White Dragons and Dark Magicians every time you begin your duel. So that's why we're going to be rocking this right here. And what's awesome about this event is that you can utilize any one of your characters that has Heavy Starter. It does not need to be a Dark Side Dimensions character. You can use any one of them. So therefore, I'm actually utilizing Jack Atlas here so that while I'm grinding this event, I can actually level him up, which is pretty cool. But yeah, once you get the deck built, all you're going to need to do is click on the event over here, and you're just need to battle Agami over and over again. You have to get these little event items right here, and you get the event items either from playing in ranked PvP or by auto dueling NPCs, and you just get a bunch of these little items right here to spawn in the cubic monster, or you can do some assist duels, which therefore you can just not need to pay any of these and just auto duel for free. So as you guys can see, I'm just going to click Dimension Duel, and I'm literally just going to click auto duel, and you're going to see how well this deck works through an auto duel, and then you're just going to be able to accumulate so many points super quick. So we got the Heavy Starter going, and we're just going to kind of pop off. We're going to summon Dark Magician, activate Eye of Timaeus, go into Dark Cavalry. Boom, we're dealing piercing damage right now. Look at that, guys. Next up, we're going to activate Dark Magic Current, summon into a Dark Magician, piercing damage, and then we're going to attack. If we top deck into Tyrant Wing, we're going to be able... Oh, we just did. Look at that. We're going to top deck into Tyrant Wing. We're going to quick Tyrant Burst Dragon to our Dark Cavalry, and then attack 3 times. As you guys can see, I literally have my hands in the air, bro, and I'm already about to defeat this Agami with this spicy deck right here. Like, this deck is one of the best farm decks for farming this event. You don't have to do anything. You can literally just chill back and relax, and it does not matter. Dude, I'm vibing, bro. I'm auto-dueling. I'm gonna get the 3 million points sooner rather than later. And once you get your auto-dueling done, it's gonna say raid complete. You got all that damage to go through. You're gonna get a bunch of event wards and whatnot, which is awesome. And then as you can see, your damage is gonna increase, and you're gonna be able to keep accumulating a bunch of points. Right now, I'm at 1,600,000, and I'm gonna go hop back to you guys when I reach 3 million points so I can show you what you need to do next once you reach 3 million points. But yeah, all you have to do is just use the deck that I showcased to you guys and just keep autoing through the event over and over and over again. Okay, so I think I'm at the point where I'm gonna get 3 million event points, so it doesn't really matter that I lost right here because I did deal a lot of damage in this duel. So let's see what happens when you reach 3 million event points. I'm gonna guess a cutscene's gonna play real quick. We are 3 million event points, and would you look at that? Now we're gonna have this cutscene right here. So normally I would, you know, do voice acting for the cutscene, but I don't want to make this video too long, and I didn't read the voice lines for the other cutscenes anyway, so I'm gonna skip past this real quick. Oh geez, wait, hold up, wait a second. This is some sus right here. Okay, I don't know if I like this cutscene, boys. Oh no, this is sus. Okay, so looks like now I get to duel Seto Kaiba. So once you reach 3 million event points, you have to duel Seto Kaiba. And once you duel him, then you're going to be able to unlock Agami. So let me go get a deck real quick to fight against Seto Kaiba real quick. So I'm going to be playing as Mokuba against Dark Side Dimensions Seto Kaiba. I'm going to use my trusty Chaos Dragon Levianeer deck. let's see if I can clap Seto Kaiba real quick. But this is somewhat fitting as a matchup, but probably would have been a little more hype if I did Diosa to Yugi, but it is what it is. I gotta say though, this field looks amazing. This is actually a really cool duel field. Okay, we got an okay hand. We can synchro into Every right away, or Michael. I might actually synchro into Michael. This, actually no, I am gonna go for Every, because if he does summon into a Blue Eyes White Dragon, we can use Every to get rid of it, so. We're gonna go for Every right here. And besides, if we need to summon into Michael later, I have another Lumina in hand, so we're gonna go into Every real quick. Dealing some spicy damage against Seto Kaiba. Let's see you pop off, Kaiba. How are you gonna fight the Pharaoh with a chump deck like this, my guy? My guy, you clowning. Seto Kaiba, you just cannot handle the power of synchros. Bro, what is this level 40 deck? Do you see that monster that we sent to the banish zone, bro? Whatever, easy unlock, I'll take it. What if it's not up to you or me? I try to tell you, maybe to show you instead. Yugi. ... He's gone, Kaiba, gone forever. Wasn't easy, but still isn't, but I let him go. And you have to as well. You lie. He's just afraid, scared to come out and face me. He knows he's no match for me, but it's not gonna work. I'm gonna beat him out of you. Kaiba, wait, no! Dang. Wait, I forgot. Did Yugi actually defeat Seto Kaiba in the movie? You must have. It's been too long since I watched it. Agami, you don't know anything. You think the world's at peace, but it's built upon the suffering of others. Master Shin knew this. He told us why the world's constantly at war. It's because every person's consumed by fear, and fear turns into hate, because fear tricks and clouds your judgment. But do I feel fear? No. I haven't felt a moment of fear. That's actually a misspelling. It should be ever, not every. Since Master Shin saved me. And I'll carry on his legacy by doing what is right. It's not revenge if it's in the name of justice. Through my actions, I'll create a world of peace. And there we go. That's how you unlock Agami in the game. So that's awesome right there. And that wraps up Dark Side of Dimensions World right before we get Zexa World and Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links, which is really fitting. I still think Konami might consider adding Dark Side of Dimensions Tristan and Dark Side of Dimensions Bakura to not completely ditch Dark Side of Dimensions World, but as a whole, this entire world is now wrapped up as a world, and now we're just waiting for Zexa World, which is just crazy to think about. But yeah, before we wrap up today's video, let's go take a look at Agami's rewards and see what's popping with them. There we are. Look at that. We got Agami right here. So nice to finally see this character get into the game, because this character was advertised day 1 for Dark Side Dimensions World, and he's finally in the game. Now, at level 3, the first card you can unlock from him is Gyul, the Cubic King. 2-star Wind Fairy Effect monster, cannot be normal summon / set, must be special summoned from your hand by sending 1 cubic monster you control to the graveyard. If summoned this way, this card gains 800 attack. If this card is special summoned from the hand, inflict 800 damage to your opponent. At the end of the damage step of this card battle, you can target up to 2 Jam the Cubic Seed in your graveyard. Send this card to the graveyard, and if you do special summon them, you can only add 1 Vulcan Draguni the Cubic King from your deck to your hand. Or then once you do that, then you can add that card from your deck to your hand. So this card doesn't really have too much going for it, but it could potentially help you out for going into certain combos. Now, its attack is very lackluster, and dealing 800 points of effect damage is nice, but you're going to mostly want to use this card for targeting 2 of a Jam the Cubic Seed in your graveyard to then bring them back onto your field through this card's effect, and then adding Vulcan Draguni, the Cubic King, from your deck to your hand. So it'll bring back those Cubic Seeds from your graveyard back onto the field, search for your Cubic King from your deck to your hand, and that's what you're going to mostly want to use this card for. Other than that, I'm not feeling this card too much. I'm not too much of an expert in cubics as it is, but it seems alright, has a lot of effects going for it, so there you are. Then at level 4, we do have this skill right here called Cubic Seeds. At the beginning of the duel, and 3 Jam the Cubic Seed to your deck. This skill can only be used if you begin the duel with an extra deck that contains no monsters other than cubic monsters. So this is only going to get utilized if you only play a cubic deck. This deck loves to rely on these cards, so that's pretty cool. And while we're here, let's go take a look at this card. Jam the Cubic Seed is level 1 Dark Fiend effect monster. This card cannot be destroyed by battle. At the end of the damage step, if this card battles an opponent's monster, you can place this card face up in your spell and trap card zone as a continuous spell card, and if you do, place a cubic counter on that opponent's monsters. Monsters with a cubic counter cannot attack, also negate their effects. If this card is treated as a continuous spell card by this effect during your main phase, you can special summon this card in your spell and trap card zone. So that's pretty cool. You can start the duel with 3 of them in your deck, and then on top of that, it has a lot of really cool effects. So this might be the only way that we can utilize this card, but we haven't taken a look at all of his level rewards yet. But this is going to be one of the ways that you can add this card into your deck, is through this skill. But yeah, this card's pretty cool because you utilize this in the graveyard to go into combos with your other cubic monsters. You can utilize this to put cubic counters on your opponent's monsters to stop them from going into combos, and it cannot be destroyed by battle, so you can keep this guy stall, and you can stall with this card if you need to go into your bigger cubic monsters. So not too bad of a card. Next up, at level 6, we do get Blade Garduda, the cubic beast. This is a 3-star fire beast effect monster that cannot be normal summon / set, must be first special summon from your hand by setting 2 cubic monsters you control to the graveyard. If summoned this way, this card gains 2,000 attack. This card can make it a second attack during each battle phase. When this card destroys an opponent's monster by battle, you can target up to 3 Vijam the cubic seed in your graveyard, send this card to the graveyard, and if you do special summon them, then you can add 1 Buster Gundle the cubic behemoth from your deck to your hand. So this card is very similar to the first card that we talked about in today's little run through of Agami's level up reward cards, but this one is a little bit better in a way for the fact that its end effect, you can target 3 of your Vijams, or yeah, Vijams from your graveyard, summon all of them, and then add Buster Gundle the cubic behemoth from your deck to your hand. And this card is going to be helpful, and summoning into Buster Gundle is going to be easy through this card because of the fact that you have your 3 cubic monsters on your field, so that's really cool. Also, what's really nice about this card too is that when you summon into this card by sacking off 2 cubic monsters you control to the graveyard, this card gains 2,000 attack, which is very, very good. And this card can make a second attack during the battle phase, which is awesome too. So you can get a 2,000 beat sick on the field that can attack twice, and then on top of that, you can go into the combo of special summoning your cubic seeds from the graveyard to then later summon into your Buster Gundle. So it's kind of like a stack up deck from what I'm gathering from this, because you first summon this one right here, then you stack up into this one, and then you stack up into the Buster Gundle and just destroy your opponent in the duels. So that's pretty cool. I'll have to definitely experiment with these cards if I level up Agami to max, because I never played cubics in the TCG and they seem kind of cool. At level 10, we get another copy of Cubic King, so that's pretty cool. At level 11, we get this card called Cubic Karma. This is a continuous spell card that states when this card is activated, you can target a cubic monster you control except Vijam the cubic seed. Send any number of Vijam the cubic seed from your hand and or deck to the graveyard. Then that monster gains 800 attack for each, even if this card leaves the field. During your opponent's turn, the Vijam the cubic seed is special summoned by the effect cubic monster. Send this card to the graveyard, and if you do half your opponent's life points, you can banish this card from your graveyard, add a cubic monster from your deck to your hand. This card has a lot going for it, that's for sure. So you need to have a cubic monster on your side of the field to trigger this card to get full value out of it. But yeah, you have any other cubics besides the seed, you can then send more seeds to your graveyard to make it easier to combo with Cubic Beast and Cubic King. So this card's going to combo very well with that. And then on top of that, you can get your monsters an additional attack points to make them even stronger than they were before. And then yeah, if you special summon any of your Vijam the Cubic Seeds through an effect of a cubic monster, you can utilize this card to send it to the graveyard and then half your opponent's life points, which is very helpful too. And then when this card is in your graveyard and you can banish it, you can search for a cubic monster. So this card definitely has a lot going for it. Not too shabby of a card, that's for sure. I've noticed with these cubic monsters that they have a lot of effects going for them, that's for sure. At level 13, it looks like we get Life Charge. We're not going to talk about this skill since it is attainable by all these other characters, so that's a skill that's been in the game for a little while now. We get our third copy of Cubic King at level 14. We get another copy of Buster Gundle, the Cubic Behemoth, at 16. Not going to talk about this card because this card's actually been in the game for a little bit now, but this is one of the cards that you can utilize in the deck, so that's cool. Level 18, we get another copy of Blade Garuda, so that's very cool. At level 20, we get Dimension Summon. Play one level 4 or lower cubic monster from your hand. The attack of the monster you played with the skill is equal to its original level times 500. If the monster is destroyed, you lose life points equal to the original level by times 500. The skill can only be used if you begin the duel with an extra deck or deck that contains no monsters other than cubic monsters. This skill can be only used once per turn and twice per duel. I like this right here because this actually helps you out with going into some cubic monsters. So first with this, it actually lets you kind of bypass this requirement right here because skills do not care about the card text. So even though this says that cannot be normal summon / set, must be first special summoned by yada yada yada, skills bypass that. They do not care about these summoning requirements. Skills have priority over it, and it just doesn't count as a special summon. So that's what's awesome about Dimension Summon right here. It just does not care. So you can summon those your 2 other cubic monsters for free essentially, which is really cool. Now the downside to it it could be a plus side, it could be a downside depending on how you see it, but the attack of the monster is going to get a certain amount of attack depending on which one you summon. So it will basically ignore like whatever the text says, because you know this says if summoned this way gains X attack. It's going to ignore that, and this guy's actually going to be like 1500 attack if you summon it through the skill, but you kind of get my drift right here. Not a bad skill though. It's going to let you bypass and summon into these cubic monsters a little easier, and depending on how your cubic deck plays, going through this skill could be better than going for the traditional summons into these cubic monsters. So it really does depend, but yeah, I think it's a cool skill. I definitely think so. At level 21, we do get another copy of Cubic Karma, which is nice. At level 23, we get Endora Doomvolt, the Cubic Emperor, the monster that we were fighting against the entire time in this event. Endora Doomvolt, the Cubic Emperor, is a 4-star light fairy effect monster that cannot be normal summon / set. It must be first special summoned from your hand by sending 3 cubic monsters you control to the graveyard, and cannot be special summoned by other ways. If summoned this way, this card gains 2400 attack. If this card is special summoned from the hand, inflict 800 damage to your opponent. If this card is in your possession, is sent to the graveyard by opponent's card, by battle, or card effect, you can target 3 cubic monsters in your graveyard, special summon them, and then add 1 cubic card from your deck or graveyard to your hand. Now, I don't know how I feel about this card. I feel like it's somewhat mediocre in some ways, at least from my bird's eye view of not knowing cubics that well. You have the sack 3 cubic monsters to only get a 2400 attack monster. You do get to inflict 800 damage to your opponent when you special summon it, but it's like kind of like super mediocre where you have to sack 3 monsters just to only deal 800 points of damage and get a 2400 attack monster on the field. Now, if it does get sent to your graveyard by an opponent's card, you do get to bring back a ton of cubic monsters from your graveyard onto the field, and that could be very detrimental to your opponent because you can swarm your field with your cubics, and they do have pretty decent effects. But other than that, I don't know how I feel about this guy. I don't think I'm a big fan of him, but it is AIGAMI'S ace monster, so maybe there's something I'm missing here. Let me know in the comment section down below if I am, but you can get this card at level 23. At level 25, we get our 3rd copy of Cubic Karma, which is really nice. At level 30, we get this card called Evil Swarm Capella. This card was, I'm trying to remember, I think this was either leaked or was mentioned in one of the upcoming updates. But anyways, this card right here, we're going to take a look at it. It's a 6-star dark machine effect monster, cannot be special summoned. When this card leaves the field because of your opponent's card, either by battle or card effect, you can target a face-up monster opponent controls, take control of that target till your next end phase. So we can get a free copy of this at level 30 and everything like that, and you can utilize like Star Blast to summon this card easily since it can't be special summoned, so that's cool right there. We get another copy of the Cubic Beast at level 33. And then last but not least, we get a copy of Cubic Emperor at level 35. And I believe AIGAMI'S starter deck does give us 1 copy of it for free, if I'm going to be correct right here, which it does. Very, very cool right there. Now let's go start taking a look at AIGAMI'S exclusive skills, and this one piques my interest right here, called You Don't Deserve to Exist in My World. Choose 1 monster your opponent controls that is equipped with an equipped spell card and has at least 1000 attack above its original attack, and send it to another dimension. This skill can only be used once per duel. Now, I don't think that this skill is going to be utilized right away in this current meta, but keep this skill in the back of your mind just in case if there is a deck that's going to come out in Duel Links that utilizes equip spells, it boosts the attack of those said monsters, because you can literally use this skill to just wipe that monster and completely get rid of it from the game. When it says send it to another dimension, it does not get banished, it just gets removed from the game entirely. It just gets deleted, which is absolutely insane. So that's a pretty spicy skill right here. And then the only other skill that is exclusive for AIGAMI, from what I can tell right here, is Cubic Dimension Summon. Send 1 cubic monster you control to the graveyard and play 1 cubic monster from your hand that is a 1 level higher than the monster you sent to the graveyard. The attack of the monster you played with this skill is equal to its original level times 500. This skill can only be used once per turn and twice per duel. So this is kind of just a little different way than Dimension Summon, specifically for cubic monsters. I think I like the effect of Dimension Summon more, but at the same time, this could be useful in certain ways because you do start pitching those cubic monsters in the graveyard, and as we read with all the cubic monsters, they do have certain effects that trigger if cubic are in the graveyard. So yes and no. I think this skill could be good or better than Dimension Summon, but in some ways I feel like Dimension Summon is better than Cubic Dimension Summon. So it really depends on the flow of the Cubic deck that you're playing. Yeah, that's for sure. But yeah, I think that's actually gonna be it for today's Duel Links video on unlocking Agami and taking a look at all of his level up reward cards. If you guys did enjoy today's video and you have not already, be sure to go leave a like on the video down below and subscribe to my channel for more Duel Links content. Let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think of Agami and the fact that he's finally in the game. And yeah, now we're just one step closer to Zex World, everybody. This is pretty crazy to think about. The Dark Side Dimensions is kind of just wrapped up right here because now we got Agami in the game. Wow, that's pretty crazy, guys. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and yeah, I'll go see you guys next Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links video.